Okay, let's get this thing rolling here.
Rolling.
It is Boofin with the Boys, Season 1, Episode 16, which means we are on Week 16 in the NFL, which is round 2 in the playoffs, and the Toilet Bowl is this week.
The Taco Ball and the Final Four.
Taco Bowl, yeah, that's
We're
right.
already here.
We are here in Dustin's basement. We got the Texans and Chiefs game on in the background, so if we seem a little distracted, it's definitely because we are. We have an investment in this game.
We certainly are. We both do.
And we're still going to podcast over it. Suck it.
You got it. You heard him.
Let's see.
Today is Saturday, December 21st, a little after 11, actually closer to noon. And it's just the two of us. We're back.
Just the two of us.
The boys.
Just the two of us.
The real boys.
I think that was an Eminem song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he remixed it or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, let's hop right in here. We got a lot to cover today. We're actually going to go over those hot takes that everyone gave at the beginning of the season that I asked for. I just think it's funny seeing how dumb we all are, but some of us were pretty good, actually. Yeah. We weren't as dumb as I thought we were, except for Andrew. No offense.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
He didn't give a real take, so maybe.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Do you want to go over last week's results first?
Yes, let's do
it.
All right, so we had the playoffs, round 1, which you and Mike were on bye for.
Thank God.
Yeah. Starting from the top here, we got the playoffs. Brad beat Gabe 134 to 110. I beat him handily.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you, Derrick Henry, for taking the week off. Don't know what happened there, but I personally am very grateful for it.
Yep. And Paul beats Daniel 173 to 158. Both of you move on into the Final Four.
Let's go. Damn, Daniel put up some points last week. That's an unfortunate loss.
Yeah. I'm really unfortunate with the way that his team is turning out now, just kind of peaking a little too late, and just unfortunate matchup, having to play Paul this week, because if he was in any other spot, he'd be like the favorite.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's fantasy, baby.
Yeah. I was just thinking that.
Next, we got those toilet bowl matchups. We got Dex with 153 beating Parker at 143.
That was a wild matchup, too.
Yeah,
that was the last game, Monday night.
That's right. I forgot about that. That was kind of intense. It was, who was on Monday night that they needed? It was Bijan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I was waiting for Bijan to break off a huge run. I was like, if Bijan just one huge run, makes it to the end zone, that's a 10-point swing. Easy.
For sure.
And he could have done that.
He has that ability, for sure.
That's wild. But, Dex got the win, sends Parker to the toilet bowl, or Taco Bowl, sorry, I keep saying toilet bowl. And then next we got Andrew with 114 points beating Dustin with 110 points.
Yeah, did you see that, the end of that matchup too, where Andrew had, Andrew had the Vikings defense playing. That's what it was. And he only needed like 7 points from them or something like that.
Dude, I was so worried about that. I was like, I don't know if the they should.
Vikings should
be great, but there's always, the world where it's like, well, they let up a little bit. They still win the matchup, but then their opponent scores a bunch of more points.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm just so proud of Andrew for surviving that number 10 seed.
I can't believe he did that.
I can't believe he did either.
When he called me on the phone, I was like, dude, how are you not just a shoo-in for Taco this week?
Sure.
This doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. But proud of him. He stuck through it. It was maybe that Brees trade, the Brees fleece, saved him.
Bro, his trades worked out.
It's crazy.
Oddly enough.
Honestly. But, yeah, good for him. Sends Dustin to the Taco Bowl.
Yeah, Parker and Dustin in the Taco Bowl. Oh, I can't wait. And this is the weekend. It's happening right now.
It's here.
Oh, my
God. We will know in 48 hours.
So wild. I did write down league median. I don't think it affects us too much this week. It was 125, kind of brought it back down to normal numbers compared to last week.
150, whatever.
Oh, dude, that was so stupid.
It was dumb.
Oh, wild. I did make a note here. Every matchup this week resulted in an upset, technically, with the lower-ranked teams defeating the higher-ranked teams.
That is actually wild.
That's weird. Every matchup this week. So both playoff matchups and both toilet bowl matchups.
And I wonder if a lot of this has to do with how competitive it has been because of median. So teams that are lower ranked now or teams that are higher ranked got there because of the median wins. You know what I mean? So like,
Oh yeah.
their seeding is much closer than it could have been flipped, so that each one of these guys, like, Daniel didn't score many points towards the beginning of the season, but then towards the end he started peaking. So, his seeding, like, was the 4 seed, but like, and then same with Paul too. Like, the seeding is just so close, and a lot of these, all these teams are within, 9 versus 8, 10 versus 7. Like, we're pretty close. So interesting to see, though. I don't know that that's ever happened before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty wild. But good job to all the winners. Everyone else, suck it. You're out. Either you stop caring about fantasy or you do have a heavy investment. It's really one way or the other.
Right.
There's no longer like staying on the fence about matchups this
Yeah,
week.
you're either totally out and stress free or still in and it's peaking.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh, Dex wanted me to put in this note here. It is kind of funny when you look at it. I didn't think Dex was serious about this when he said it in Discord, but he said if Parker would have accepted the tight end versus tight end bet, then Parker actually would have won, and Dex would be in the toilet or Taco Bowl.
That is kind of wild. Yeah, I don't know if technically by the league rules we can allow that, because you have to start a full matchup, right? Unless we remove that rule.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been allowed.
Yeah, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, that'd be such a lame way to get to the Taco Bowl or to become Taco.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, oh, I made a dumb bet that my tight end would outscore somebody
Smart
else's
on Parker
tight end.
for not taking it.
Yep. Ooh, big
Oof.
play in the Chiefs game. Okay. Moving on here, we got last week it was Daniel and Dustin were guests. I was the host, and we did those matchup picks and results here.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel and I both chose every matchup the same, and then Dustin was the only one who opposed us. And Daniel and I got 2 out of 4 matchups correct. Dustin got 0 out of 4. Dustin already took that ice, posted it in Discord. So good job, Dustin. Thank you for that.
Very nice. Yeah, our records against each other. We don't have a full season because I wasn't on all of them, but 1-5-5 for you and 5-1-5 for me. We tied quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, we ended up choosing a lot of the same players, a decent amount, or same teams.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, after that, weekly report, we're looking at the highest scorer of the week is Paul, a.k.a. Only Truths and Hymns, still a great team name, with 137 points. Wait, 173 points.
There you
Dyslexia.
Yep.
And the lowest score of the week is Gabe, a.k.a. Donkey Milk, and also my opponent this past week with 110 points. Again, thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Derrick Henry, for taking the week off. Getting me to the semifinals.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, kind of a low-scoring affair for being a playoff team, but there's always one, usually in the first round, so that's why having a bye is very nice.
Yeah, it seems like so Gabe's team was kind of the Goliath all year.
Yeah.
Was this just monster team putting up huge points? I don't know how many weeks, especially at the beginning half of the season, he was the highest scorer.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody could touch him all year, and then it seemed like he was going to be the first round bye.
Yeah.
But he clinched playoffs before anyone else.
Right.
And then his team just kind of shit the bed.
Yeah, he was the 1 seed up until I think the last either week 13. I think until week 13, and then Mike took over, and then week 14 was when he lost the bye. So, yeah, I think he was having some quarterback struggles. He's had that all year, and I think it just finally caught up with him. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, some of us have teams full of like a bunch of like consistent players, but not like high ceiling players. And then some of us have like, like my team, for example, has like 3 or 4 players that can like boom really big and win a week, but then the rest of them are kind of mid. So if you have those players that don't blow up, then you just end up completely falling out. So
yeah,
that just goes to show you how important it is to try for those first round buys and play through the end of the season. And unfortunately for Gabe, he falls out, and
and with him out, and with the ones who are in, I guess that for all of us champions means that we held the line. There will be no new champion crown this year.
Yeah, Dan and Gabe both fell out.
Yeah,
so
we
got a lot of championships in there. I mean, it's a 75% chance that we'll have a 3-time.
Oh my god!
Because Yeah, actually, I was looking at. So it's actually it's a rematch of the 2019 championship and then the 2021 championship because you played Mike.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's kind of cool.
So yeah, we got a lot of hardware in this bitch.
Jesus. Yeah, I bet if I was the rest of the league, I'd be so pissed.
Oh yeah,
Especially if I'm one of the nerds who hasn't gotten a championship yet. Dude, I am so upset. But sorry.
Oh, for sure.
More Chiefs nonsense.
But there's a
Panuelo.
Panuelo. Yeah, there you
We
go.
have the game on Telemundo, so we're
watching it in Spanish.
Watching it in Spanish. It's tight.
Yes, defensive Panuelo.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So, yeah, no new champions this year. There will be a repeat champion, and everyone will hate that person.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even more than a new champion.
I think so, for sure.
I would.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone will be happy in some way for a new champ.
Oh, yeah. At the beginning of the year, no one else wants it. I kind of openly talk about it. I'm happy with the new champ.
Yeah.
I was going to be happy with Gabe. I was going to be happy with Daniel as a new champ.
Yeah.
But they didn't rise to the occasion.
Yeah, you got to win. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
You got to make it. You got to follow through, but it'll be one of us repeat boys.
Yeah. Let's go. How exciting.
Hell yeah. So our wrapping up the weekly report from last week, the most hyped matchup was Dustin versus Andrew. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Andrew needs only 7 points from the Vikings D on Monday night. They ended up scoring 11. Every time they got a sack or every time, they had a 3 and out, it was just kind of ticking away at Dustin's clock to he really needed them to actually move the ball and stuff because, all those little points can just add up really quick.
Yeah, that was wild. At any moment it could have changed, but the Vikings, good defense, and they had a great matchup.
Yep, they certainly did, and sends Dustin to the taco ball. So
yeah, Dustin jinxed himself so hard. I can't wait to see how he jinxed himself this week. Jesus.
Yeah. All right. Well, you want to move on, get on to our hot takes from the beginning of the year?
Yeah. So, for those of you who remember, I did ask for everyone's hot takes at the beginning of the year regarding the draft. And it could have been players on your own team. It could have just been thoughts on the NFL in general, just about specific players, whether you drafted them or maybe you were high on them and didn't get a chance to draft them because somebody snaked you. So,
did you catch that?
Starting from
let's go, Trav.
I'm him.
Starting
from the top with yours truly, my hot take was that Christian Watson will be Green Bay's wide receiver 1 with 1,300 yards, 1,300 receiving yards, and 10+ touchdowns. Boo.
Woof.
Yeah, that was not good. So all this data came from Sleeper. I got it yesterday. Some of it, it should be relatively accurate.
Yeah.
Christian Watson is the wide receiver 60 on the year. Not great. He was injured for only 2 weeks. I thought he was injured for a longer time. He ended up with the 620 receiving yards and only 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, taking a stab at a Green Bay wide receiver with how much depth they have is, I would bet more that they would spread it around, which is kind of generally what they do. Obviously, I think Reed's probably been the best on the season, but just none of them are really consistent.
Yeah, it was fool's gold to chase that. I really wish that I didn't. It didn't hurt me too bad, obviously, at the end of the year, and I didn't hold on to Christian Watson all year long.
Sure.
Although I wanted to, and I picked him up actually this last week on waivers. But regardless, Christian Watson was not wide receiver 1. It does look like it was Jaden Reed. He is ranked wide receiver 16 on the year with 727 yards and 7 touchdowns. Oddly enough, Tucker Kraft also has 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been kind of a touchdown machine, which, kind of on and off, but the 1 week that I started him anyway against you, he had those 2 long touchdowns, which was fun. But anyway, so missed on Christian Watson. I guess you want to move on to mine?
Yes. Let's move on to yours. I'm going to try to track or push some buttons on my software. Hopefully it doesn't mess this up.
Okay. So at the beginning of the season, I feel like we all just took stabs at our own players. But I said that Cooper Kupp is a wide receiver 1 finishing over Puka. And for the terms of our bet with Daniel, he actually did. On the season, now Puka's surpassed him in this last game. That was a awful game in the weather in San Francisco. Kupp finished so far as a wide receiver 27 with 144 0.2 points. He missed 4 games. He has 63 receptions for 657 yards and 6 touchdowns. Puka is a wide receiver 25. He has 158 points at this point. He missed 5 games. He's got 61 receptions, 805 yards and 3 touchdowns. Puka's definitely more of the downfield threat. He's no longer, or I guess Kupp's no longer that guy, being a little bit older, but he's more of like the slot kind of reception guy.
You're not that guy, pal.
Yeah, he's getting old. For all things considered, I think in the games that Kupp actually played, he averaged wide receiver 1-ish numbers, kind of 1-2.
I feel like they swap roles. I mean, they're both, used obviously in like different roles, but yeah, sometimes it's a Cooper week, or a Cooper Kupp week. Sometimes it's a Puka Nacua week.
Yeah, most recently it's been kind of all Puka.
It's definitely leaned his way more.
Kupp was kind of more the reception guy, sort of like first down guy, short yardage, short, design touchdown plays, when they get down to like the 5, that kind of a thing. So for, having drafted him a round or 2 later than Puka, I feel like it's good value. I was fairly close on this one. Obviously, he's not. If he had played all season, maybe he would have been borderline wide receiver 1, but not too far off.
Yeah, if these guys make it through a whole season, like Puka being wide receiver 25 right now, Kupp being 27, these guys would have been monsters on anybody's team. Like, if
missing a quarter of the season, both of them.
Like, that's insane. That's going to be so wild next year to see where these guys go. And, if they stay healthy all year,
I don't think Kupp's going to stay in Los Angeles. I think they ship him, but
that's fair.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But obviously not the hottest of takes. Yep. But I'm happy with the result. There are worse wide receiver 2s out there, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
To have on your team. So, all right, you want to move on to Daniels?
Yeah, moving on here. Daniel said Jaleel McLaughlin will outscore Javonte Williams. If Javonte gets injured, the sky is the limit for McLaughlin's utilization. Wrong.
Lol.
We don't have to go too much into detail here. I just kind of made it fantasy relevant. Jaleel McLaughlin had 80 fantasy points, whereas Javonte Williams had 130.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely drastic swing there. I don't know if Javonte missed time, but yeah, the backfield. Man.
Yeah, the backfield was weird, and Sean Payton coming out like these last couple of weeks, just saying like whoever it's a hot hand.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Estime? Is it going to be Javonte? Is it going to be Jaleel? Like,
and with Bo Nix kind of being who he is and like where he's progressing as a passer, like they can actually use their passing game, and he can actually scramble himself. So they're moving the ball in different ways than they used to. And yeah, obviously Jaleel McLaughlin maybe has a future, but it's not this year.
Yeah, unfortunate for them. It would have been cool to have a consistent running back to rely on for the Broncos. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case this year, and it probably won't be the case next year.
Yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, whiffed on that one.
Yep, shoot your shot, though. Next, we got Paul.
This is kind of a long one.
Yeah, I'll run through this really quick. It was actually really accurate, which is why I included all the numbers that Paul gave me. He said, Derrick Henry will allow Lamar to be an even better rusher, once again rushing for over 1,000 yards. That's like for Lamar, rushing over 1,000 yards. Lamar also passing for over 3,500 and combining for 40-plus touchdowns and winning back-to-back MVPs. God bless. Zay Flowers will also have a year 2 breakout because of it and have 1,200-plus yards and 10 touchdowns. So, the first part of this, Lamar Jackson, he currently has 743 rushing yards with 3 rushing touchdowns. So he's on pace, maybe not to hit quite 100 or 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
But if he ends up in the 900s, around 900,
yeah,
that could be possible. But still, great take there. And then he had currently after week 15, he has 3,580 passing yards, and 34 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, so 37 in total so far.
That's wild. And then he kind of was the people's choice for MVP up until maybe last month.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Yeah, now he's just behind Josh Allen, and Josh Allen looks to be running away with it.
Yeah, he's playing out of his mind. I mean, it's hard to eclipse something like, what Lamar's doing this year, but Josh Allen is currently doing it.
Yeah, insane. And then as in regards to Zay Flowers, he currently has 916 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, so pretty close. I mean, not as many touchdowns, but 916 yards is probably on pace. He's got 3 more games to score. I mean, that'd be 300 a game, but you'll probably still break 1,000 on the season.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, those are really great takes. Good players to pick up. Zay, even though Zay Flowers has some awesome stats, he seemed to be relatively inconsistent, it feels like,
Yeah,
throughout the year.
for sure.
But, yeah, good take, Paul. Like it. Next, we got Parker. Parker said Bijan Robinson is the RB1 overall. As of last week, he was ranked RB5. So not too bad. He's ranked 17th overall. Obviously, I think quarterbacks are going to kind of take those top positions.
Right.
But ranked RB5, not a terrible
yeah, he's
take on there.
and RB1.
Yes, that is true. And he had a rough start to the year. I think he's really come alive in the last couple of weeks, putting up tons of
They
points.
started off the season passing heavily.
Oh, yeah, that was the whole Drake London, Darnell Mooney just going bonkers, and now he's non-existent.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately. But
Yeah.
you got to pivot, so.
Yeah, good take, B. Way to wasn't that his aggressive draft pick too? Was Bijan?
Yes, he picked him in the first.
That's wild.
Yeah, like 5th overall, 6th overall, somewhere like that. I think he was maybe 4th.
Yeah, I would like to say it paid out, but it got him straight to the Taco Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of his decisions combined got him there.
That's
so
right. Yeah, it's not just one shit brick that made his shit house. It was a ton of shit bricks that made his shit house, if
There
that
you
makes
go.
sense.
Yeah.
Bijan was not one of them. But
and a ton of injuries, I have to say.
yeah, those injuries were nuts. Next, we got Dex. Dex's hot take here was that Mike Evans will outscore Deebo Samuel and Josh Palmer will be the Chargers wide receiver 1. Let's see. Mike Evans has 170 fantasy points, and he outscored Deebo by 60
So far, yeah.
so far. Yes.
And I think Mike Evans even missed several games. He was on IR, I think, wasn't he? He missed like 4 games with that hamstring.
Yep.
So, yeah, definitely a good call there.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Good
Deebo's been awful. I mean, the entirety of the Niners offense has just been kind of terrible. Besides Kittle, I guess.
Yeah, it's been kind of bad since the get-go, unfortunately.
Yeah, but as far as Josh Palmer goes, he's scored 85.7 points with a 502 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Lad McConkey, who's a wide receiver 19, has scored 167 points with 837 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. So whiffed on that one, but yeah, solid on the first pick.
Yeah, not bad. It's cool to see Justin Herbert also slinging the rock and having his good games.
Did you see that touchdown pass that he threw on Thursday night? Where
Yeah.
he was like falling to his left, and he threw with his right a dime right into the corner of the end zone.
That was so crazy. I don't know how he does that.
I don't know. Wild.
Insane. Next, we got Gabe's hot take. He said, Christian McCaffrey's bones are going to explode. George Kittle's knees are made of glass, and Derrick Henry is washed. Okay, we got a few things here. So CMC missed weeks 1 through 8 before re-injuring himself in week 13, was ruled out for the rest of the season. His bones...
It wasn't his
indeed.
bones. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. His bones are fine.
Yeah.
Everything
his-
surrounding those bones exploded.
Yeah. But his ligaments and tendons, not so good.
Yeah, bitch ass. And then looking at George Kittle, his knees are made of glass. This year, they're not. Maybe they're reinforced glass because George Kittle's a tight end too, with 180 points on the season up to last week.
They're tempered safety glass, that durable stuff.
Yeah, and Kittle being a injury-prone player, I think we all think of him as he only missed 2 weeks, weeks 3 and 11 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
not bad. That was a great pickup too.
And Derrick Henry is definitely not washed. I mean, now he is at the end of the season, but up until this point, he hasn't been.
Yeah, he was holding on to that or running back 1 and 2 spot pretty consistently up until these last couple of weeks.
Oh, for sure. I think Cabe's kind of negging his own players.
Yeah,
out of
like
as a strategy here, but halfway paid off, halfway didn't.
Yeah. Looking at Mike's hot take, he said Rico Dowdle earns the Cowboys starting running back position and ends up a solid RB2 in fantasy. Looking at the running backs for the Cowboys, we got Rico Dowdle, who's currently running back 25 with 173 fantasy points on the season. The RB2 for the Cowboys, Zeke Elliott, is RB62 and has only 50 fantasy points.
Yeah, I think towards the beginning of the year, the Cowboys really struggled to kind of figure out how to use their offense, and then with Dak getting hurt, it really kind of opened up an opportunity for Rico, and he's now, I would say, at this point in the season, he's definitely an RB2. Obviously, his current position in the rankings being RB25 doesn't really put him at an RB2, but I think over the last few games and then going forward, his average points per game are going to be in the wide or the running back 2 area.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I think it's a
I
solid.
would say that's a good pick.
Yeah. Ended up really well for him. How funky the beginning of the year started for him. So yeah, good job there. Dustin's hot take. He said Mike Evans is getting old and should be seeing regression, and I think Godwin will pick up a lot of that and have a better year than last year and be a top 25 receiver. Godwin was injured in Week 7. He was ruled out for the remainder of the year, but before that, he was a top 11 wide receiver for 3 out of 6 weeks and a top 40 wide receiver for the other weeks. He was consistently scoring between 11 and 16 points per week, and he had scored a total of 127 points through Week 7.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Godwin finished as wide receiver 31. This is just a comparison. So he
from
scored
last year.
130 points through Week 7, whereas last year he only scored 194 fantasy points.
Yeah, he was on pace to definitely improve from the previous season. I think they figured out that they needed to move him back into the slot and keep Mike Evans where he was, playing on the outside, and that's the best tandem, the best way that they can use those guys. And Godwin was thriving up until Week 7. Unfortunately, he broke his ankle in a horrific way.
Yeah,
dislocated it, right? Dislocated and broke.
I think it was like a dislocation fracture.
Gotcha.
That was such a sad scene. Him on the back of that cart.
For sure.
But, dude, he was looking good. He looked incredible, actually.
He was. Yeah, he looked awesome.
He was looking so good. I think if he finished out the whole season, I
don't
think there was a clear winner who would have finished higher in fantasy between him and Mike Evans, but I think it would have been incredibly close.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of one of those things where, like Cup and Puka, like, where are you drafting them and what value are you getting for the draft position kind of a thing. So I think that was a good take. Unfortunately, he lost him for the season. And let's go Joe.
Let's go Mixon or Mom's Guts. But yeah, that was a good take. Chris Godwin was a good pickup. I didn't think that at the beginning of the season. Had he stayed healthy all year, Dustin probably wouldn't be in the position he is in now.
Yeah, for sure. I had Godwin for a few years, and he was always kind of one of those flex type of a player. And this year, it seemed like he actually stepped up to be like a solid weekly starter. And I didn't really have him very high on my list, but Baker's the truth, I guess. So,
God, I love Baker. Baker, touchdown maker.
Yep. All right, let's get on to Andrew's.
Last hot take here is from Andrew. We'll go through this really fast. It's kind of funny, but only for the memes. Andrew's hot take. He said, I'll score more points because they're going to move the ball more than your players are going to move the ball. That's what he said to me. That's it.
That's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, completely incorrect.
The only notes I could put in here, I said he was ranked last, 10th in the league. He finished.
He was 10th. He was dead last.
Mm-hmm. He's ranked 9th in points with 1587 points. Dex actually ranked last in points for. Which is pretty wild. And yeah, not a great hot take, but I guess I shouldn't expect much from Andrew when it comes to serious NFL takes. And that's fine. Whatever. This is fantasy.
Yeah, for sure.
So last thing here, I did make one quick note. I just thought it was cool. Just want to flex a little bit. Out of the 4 top points against teams, we're looking at me, Andrew, Parker, and Dex. Only one of those teams made it to the playoffs, which was me. Go me.
Very nice. I think you probably had a lot more points for, I would imagine. I know you hit the median quite a few times. So
it's weird. So I hit the median a lot, and I was looking at points for the other day, and I was 7th.
Oh, okay.
So I really wasn't even middle of the pack. I was kind of down there towards the bottom.
Wow.
Which is weird. Up until these last couple of weeks, I was actually doing pretty well, and then
just kind of slowed down,
which is unfortunate. But yeah, and then out of the top, it doesn't matter. I'm not even going to go into the other detail. Good job, guys. Thank you for sending me those hot takes. It's kind of cool to look back on and see where we were at.
Yeah,
where our mindsets were at the beginning of the year.
And see how it panned out at the end of the season.
Yeah, because I think I got all these takes before week 1 had even happened. I think I tried to anyway.
Yeah, I think it was either before week 1 or happening week 1 was happening as we submitted these. So
Yeah, I was like, okay, let's get some hot takes before, the week 1 injuries or before the week 1
Yeah, like obvious
craziness
breakouts and
happens.
stuff.
Yeah. So that was cool. It was cool to look back at that.
Well, let's move on to the newsroom.
Yeah. Okay. We don't got a whole lot to talk about in the newsroom here. We'll go through a few things, but we'll kind of move past this relatively quickly. Looking at the good vibes anytime touchdown parlay from last week. This was a historically bad bet.
Yeah.
Because not a single player from that parlay scored a touchdown last week.
Wow, none of them.
Dude, it was Derrick Henry, Devon Achane, Brian Robinson, and Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, I mean, two of those players on Gabe's team, but part of the reason why he, performed so poorly. That's crazy, though. You would think in those matchups, especially.
Yeah, they all had chances. All those teams hit the red zone a few times. I can't believe. Yeah, it's just weird. Whatever. That's also sports betting, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Tough week, and maybe that's how I continue to curse my opponents. I'll just start betting heavily on them to score touchdowns, and then they'll never.
I thought
score
about
that week.
Yeah, I thought about doing that this week, and I don't have the DraftKings app, and so
Yeah. But yeah, bummer for all of us. It looks like we all are down one house.
Mhm.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Next, we got the OP parlay, which also didn't hit. Huge bummer there. I took the Browns +4 versus the Chiefs because the Chiefs have been in very close one-score matchups all
Mhm.
season long. And, of course, it's last week that they decided to break that trend.
Yep. Don't bet against the Chiefs.
Yeah, they crushed Jameis Winston's spirit, actually got him benched. He won't even be starting this week. Insane. And then the Bengals -5 at the Titans and Broncos -4.5 versus the Colts. Those hit
Right.
easily.
That was intercepted, wasn't it? Yep.
I think
that was picked off.
Chiefs just got an interception. C.J. Stroud threw it like a little bitch ass. That's
Oof.
C.J. Stroud's second interception today, if not third, and it's not even halftime.
Wow. Yeah. Let's go Chiefs.
What the F? Okay. Well, yeah, OP parlay didn't hit. Touchdown parlay didn't hit. So once we get to the betting corner, we still have the touchdown parlay and the OP parlay.
Mm-hmm.
What I might advise doing on your own is once you see or hear the anytime touchdown parlay, bet not necessarily against it, but maybe choose different players.
Yeah,
on those
choose
teams,
different ones. Yeah.
But I still think that wasn't a bad parlay. It just happened that none of them hit. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Stupid.
just one of those weeks, Bad luck. Although all of you have been having insane luck on the other bets, so you can't win them all.
Yeah, exactly. Can't win them all.
So, all right, well, let's cover some of the recaps from the games. The Rams-Niners game was awful. Rams 12, Niners 6. No touchdowns. Nothing happened at all in that game besides nothing.
Just a bunch of field goals.
Just
And
a
I
bunch
actually,
of rain, and that's it.
Oh, yeah, it did get really rainy. There wasn't a whole lot of weather scheduled, I thought, and then it just got nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I did make money off that. I did put money on the field goals. Even
Okay.
in the rain, it still hit, which was insane.
Yeah, for sure.
No touchdowns that game. Incredibly boring.
Yeah.
Then not really much else to talk about. Pat Mahomes suffered a high ankle injury in the fourth quarter last week, but obviously he's playing today as we
Mhm.
watch him run around on TV right now.
Yeah. You want to get to the biggest sad of all?
Yeah, that's the biggest sad for you. It's nice for all of your current and then future opponents, though.
Potential future opponents.
Yep. David Montgomery suffers that MCL sprain. I didn't even see the injury, but he
he
was out
played-
relatively early in that game, right?
Yeah, they took him out, and then he ended up playing towards the end. I guess it was an MCL tear, but unfortunately, yeah, he's out for the year. They're saying that he got a third opinion, and he may be back for their playoff run.
I did see that. I saw that.
Which is kind of wild. So maybe it was only like a small partial tear or something. But unfortunately for fantasy, yeah, he's done for our season, which is about the only thing that could have gone wrong for me on a bye week is losing a player, and I kept rooting every time all weekend to stay healthy, and that's a huge loss for me. But I can't really complain because a lot of other people have had injuries the entire season. So it just unfortunate that it hits now and.
Exactly.
Gotta survive it.
Yeah, just the unfortunate timing. That sucks. And it also sucks for, oh my God.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Jesus. Sorry. Xavier Worthy just caught a ball out of bounds, it looks like. Anyway, it also sucks for America because the Lions are America's team. So to see David Montgomery go down with a season-ending injury potentially, I know he
Mhm.
might be back for playoffs, might
Yeah.
not. It's just a bummer, dude. I love the Lions.
Yeah,
It
no,
sucks
I,
the
I love
injury.
watching them play. I mean, he's been so solid all season, and now I got to play off without him. So hats off to him. A salute to David on his way out, getting me at least back to top 4 again. So
Do it for David.
do it for David. The rest of my team, step up. Let's
Exactly.
go.
Last thing I have here to talk about: Cardinals beating the Pats 30-17. Cardinals did end up steamrolling them. Some people had their doubts. Go Cardinals.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Patriots, so
Yeah, we'll take our wins where we can.
very
go.
low bar there, but I guess go Cards. Not this week anyway. Yep, no, that was out.
Dang.
Um,
That's really all I had. I don't know if there's anything else major to talk about. Didn't seem like it from last week.
Alvin Kamara's might be out for the rest of the season too.
That's right. That was pretty wild.
Sounds like it. Obviously Daniel's team is out of the playoffs, so not a huge news for him, but allowed me the potential for another RB2 question mark.
Yeah, it's
Is
big question mark. Time will tell.
Some volume into my RB2 position where there was about to be 0. So best I could hope for was, I got kind of lucky with that Miller pickup, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Daniel was so mad at you about that. That was so funny.
And it turned out to work out for me, and I needed it. So
Yeah, I thought it was a good pickup.
yeah, he can be mad all he wants.
Yep. That's really it. All right, let's move on to waiver wires.
All right, let's do it.
All right, looking at the Wednesday waivers, we got Brenton Strange going to Mike for I forgot people still have Fab left.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mike does.
Yeah, I guess Mike. For 1 Fab, Parker also bid on him. The Falcons defense goes to Parker for 1 Fab. Paul bid on the Falcons. Jerome Ford goes to Mike for 1 Fab. Dustin, Charlie, myself, and Paul all bid on Jerome Ford.
Yep.
Didn't get him. Good job, Mike, for getting those 2 players.
Yeah, keeping some fab.
Yeah. Well, got to take these notes for next year. Next, Ty Johnson goes to Dustin, trying to help his team out here with the Taco Bowl. I and Paul also bid on him. And then Tajay Spears goes to Chuck. Paul also bid on him. Josh Downs goes to Paul, and Dalton Kincaid goes to Parker. Nothing too crazy there. Thursday waivers, we got Keon Coleman going to Dex. I did end up getting Christian Watson. Dustin had also bid on Christian Watson. My thought here, because I was thinking about the hot takes, right? I was like, Christian Watson's the truth. He'll be the truth all year.
Right.
First of all, that was wrong.
Yeah.
But we don't know who's going to be the hot hand any week in Green Bay, and I would just feel so bad if Mike, or I guess my next opponent picks up Christian Watson,
right,
and he goes off against me.
Yeah, just kind of blocking moves. I feel like that's what a lot of these are.
Yeah. So I got Christian Watson. I'll probably start the wrong wide receiver this week. We'll see.
Yep.
Lions defense goes to Mike. Romo Dunze goes to Dustin. Dustin really trying to make some moves here in the
doing
Taco
anything
Bowl.
he can.
Jesus. And then Singletary goes to you, which you dropped him a day later, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Madison goes to Paul.
Yeah, no Friday waivers, but some free agency. I don't know why, but Parker drops Kamani Vidal just for not picking anybody up, just kind of dropping him.
It's for shits and giggles, I guess.
Didn't like the vibe, I guess.
Maybe just bad vibe drop.
Banishing some juju, I guess. And then, I picked up Hollywood and dropped Singletary.
Hollywood. Yeah, he's been getting some work today.
Mm-hmm. I think he's their leading receiver so far.
That's wild. I was so big on Hollywood Brown at the beginning of the season.
I know. I drafted
really,
him
really
at the very
wanted him.
beginning, and then, he was like, he's on IR. He's done for the season.
Yeah.
Apparently not. Apparently he's back. So, yeah, just taking a stab in the dark there.
Yeah, but you're right. A lot of moves by these teams just to block other players. So
Yeah, true.
Nothing too crazy. I think Mike actually picked up a couple of starters, so could be good or bad. That means his current team just wasn't healthy or good.
Well, I mean, I think – God, she's so annoying. I think Jerome Ford is actually a decent, flex option.
That was a great pickup. Yeah, I think he's definitely flex worthy this week
against the Bengals. So
yeah, and Brandon Strange got his 11 receptions last week.
Yeah, and there were a lot of us that wanted a stab at him, and so Mike making the move. It's blocking, but also he's usable asset.
Yeah, especially I think Mike has Cade Otton, who was questionable to even play tomorrow.
Yeah, true.
Hey, shut up!
All right, let's move on to the betting corner.
You got it.
Okay, looking here, betting corner standings through week 15. We're actually not doing too bad. Last week, both of us lost 2 units. I did take the liberty of gambling with your money. Sorry
Yep.
for losing a little bit.
That's all right.
I am at 28 units. You're at 30. I'm up 8. You're up 10 units on the year. Still not a bad year.
Yeah.
Which kind of gives me hope for next year if this betting corner part of the
to
podcast continues.
advance. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to actually throw some money on this because we didn't do bad, and we're not making crazy bets. The parlays maybe
Yeah, sure.
a little bit wonky here and there, but as far as the primetime games, choosing the spreads, over unders, and all that,
Yeah, we're doing
it's
pretty
kind of
good.
fun.
Yeah. All right, give us your anytime TD scorer parlay for this week.
Okay, the good vibes anytime touchdown scoring or scorers parlay. We're looking at Chase Brown versus the Browns.
Mhm.
We got Jahmyr Gibbs playing at the Bears, and now without David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm. Sad.
I got Jonathan Taylor, who dropped the ball last week before entering the end zone.
Oof.
Shouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. He's playing against the Titans. And we got Mike Evans playing at the Cowboys.
So looking like this, parlay is about 6-1 odds. These are all, a lot of them really heavily favored. Chase Brown's minus 220, Jahmyr Gibbs minus 310, and JT minus 125. And then Mike Evans at even odds, plus 100.
I think it looks good. I always think they look good.
Yeah, until they don't.
Yeah, everything looks good. All of our lineups always look good until they don't.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I got faith this week. If you don't have faith in me and you see the track record that's not great, I think we only hit 2, maybe 3 of these this whole year. Choose other players from the same teams, fade this parlay, and
Mhm.
then win a couple more houses that way.
Choose a Chase or a Amon-Ra or a Michael Pittman.
I think I did a T. Higgins, Sam Laporta, Anthony Richardson, and I think I still kept Mike Evans in there if I'm being honest. Oh, and Bucky. And that actually came out to higher odds.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of an underdog.
Yeah, that's a way to fade this parlay and
Yeah.
still make some cheese.
I gotcha. Tell us about our OP parlay.
The OP parlay, we're looking at the Eagles minus 3.5 playing at the Commanders. We got the Cardinals minus 4.5 playing at the Panthers. Then we got the Giants plus 8.5 playing at the Falcons. And the Falcons are starting Michael Penis this week.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. I
Mhm.
think that should be a good matchup for the Giants. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's I think the Giants are starting Drew Lock.
Yeah, it's not that I don't have faith. I don't have faith in the Giants offense,
You don't have faith in the Falcons offense.
but I
either.
have so little faith.
I
in the
gotcha.
Falcons, so-
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see how it ends up. Anyway, another 6-1 odds there, taking the Eagles, Cardinals, and Giants spreads.
Gotcha.
I think it should be pretty cool. The Eagles game at the Commanders, that's going to be a fun game, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. Good luck, boys. If we hit this, we make 12 houses.
12 houses. Yep.
If we
12 in
hit
a
both
row.
of them.
So, all right, let's get to our primetime games.
Yeah. Looking at Sunday night football, we got the Bucks playing at the Cowboys. Buccaneers are favored by 4. Over-under is set at 48.5. I am going to take the Buccaneers minus 4 because Baker touchdown maker is the truth. And we've seen the damage he can do to literally every team he's faced the last month.
Yep.
And because of that, I'm also taking the over at 48.5. For fantasy reasons, I hope all of these touchdowns go to the running backs.
Yeah.
Let's go Bucky. Let's go Rashad White.
I hear you. I'm with you. Actually, this is our first lock. I'm taking the Bucks minus 4 and the over also. I just see the Bucks winning this game by more than a field goal, and the Cowboys can score points. So
Yeah.
I hope it all goes to the running backs. Myself personally, playing CeeDee Lamb, so playing against him anyway. But we'll see. First lock it in.
Yep, lock that shit in, boys. Next, we got Monday Night Football. We got Saints playing at the Packers.
Yep.
Could be a little bit of weather in that game. We'll see. Packers are favored by 14 points.
Mhm.
Holy shit. The over-under is set at 42.5.
Yep.
I am taking the Packers to cover that spread. The Saints, I think they gave up on the year. I don't know. I mean, they don't have a whole lot to play for. Alvin Kamara should not get hurt after they – well,
Well, he's not
didn't
gonna
they
play.
extend him?
Oh yeah, they did extend him. Yeah, and I don't think he's going to play because
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Why would you?
Yeah, exactly. So they don't really have weapons on offense or defense. The Packers have weapons on both sides of the ball. It's not looking good for the Saints. I think the Packers steamroll the Saints and put up a shit ton of points in the process.
Yeah. I'm so 14 points is an enormous line, and I do think that the Packers are probably going to beat them pretty handedly. If I were putting my own money, I would probably take the Packers, but I'm going to take the Saints just because that's such a huge line. And I'm going to take the over 42.5 because that's such a low line. Just kind of playing the odds and comparisons to all the other lines. It's just like so drastic that I'll take the opposite. So Saints plus 14, the over 42.5.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, over 42.5. That's a lock for the Monday Night Football game. Put those bets in, and let's get another house, boys.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. This next segment's going to be really quick. We'll touch on ASU here. Previous matchup results, don't got to talk about that. That was the last game we played. It was a Big 12 championship.
Let's fucking go.
Yep, let's go Devils. One of the best days of my life.
Yep, first round bye, following it up. That's huge.
Yeah, this is round one of college football playoffs this weekend and today, really.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Yeah, ASU.
So our potential opponents next week, Clemson plays Texas at Texas. Texas is favored.
Yep.
Minus 12. Over-under is 52 points. I think we're rooting for Clemson here to take down Texas as the underdog so we have an easier team to play.
Yes, that's the thought process here. Clemson is ranked lower than Texas. So in theory, Clemson is the worst team, but there's been a lot of talk around Texas having a very easy strength of schedule. So regardless of their high ranking, they're not a very good team, according to some people. People smarter than me. I'm just repeating shit I've seen. So I think whoever we end up playing, we have a chance.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild to think that ASU is going to be possibly playing Texas in the college football playoffs.
In the semifinal,
I never would have. I never would have pegged it. ASU in my lifetime would ever be playing a team like Texas in the semifinals of the college football playoffs. Yeah. I think we said this before the championship game. I'm just like, winning the Big 12 championship was like beyond our wildest dreams for this team coming into this year. Right.
Yeah.
And now we're in this position. It's like everything from here is just gravy. It's just cake,
Yeah, for sure. We got to be grateful for the incredible year we had. But it is wild to be so invested in the college football playoffs. For the sake of ASU.
Right.
Usually I'm invested in the playoffs for I want a neat matchup. That would be fun. I want to see a good football game, see some of my favorite players from around the college football, I guess, teams, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Play, and that's fun. I get to watch the Jaden Daniels or the Malik Neighbors in college.
Right.
Go off and do cool shit. But it's crazy that this year, now I'm I can't wait to see Cam Scattaboo.
Oh, yeah. Our players.
Yeah.
Our team.
That's crazy. I'm going to be rooting for our players. I have such a huge investment. I'm so excited for them.
Imagine if we actually survive this round, we win, and we move on to the next round. We have to play Oregon, who is, I think, the 1 seed, right?
Yeah, they're number 1 right now.
Imagine how hype that game would be. Just to get there.
That'd be so insane. I think we do have a real shot. Depends how we prepare. Depends if the other team, sleeps on ASU because we're the easiest team in the college football bracket.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
yeah, 11-2, and we're the easiest.
Yeah, those fuckers. Just keep sleeping on us.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. Insane. Yeah, it was funny after the Big 12 championship and even this past couple of weeks, just talking about ASU swag. Everyone's like, Scattaboo jerseys.
Oh,
this.
yeah.
I'm going to go here and do that. And I'm like, that is tight. I'm actually going to go get some ASU gear myself. I go to Arizona on Monday. Oh, sorry. Go to Arizona on Friday. So while I'm in AZ, I'm going to be hitting up that team shop.
Hell yeah. Well, if you see any cool shit that you think we might like, shoot us some pictures and
yeah. I know Parker was already interested. I'll have to tell the whole crew. Mm-hmm. And it'll depend how much packing or extra space I have in my bag.
Yeah, because you're flying back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah,
Makes
that's
sense.
going to be fun.
Yeah, I looked at some ASU stuff, and I haven't currently purchased anything. But I whipped out some of my old ASU gear that I have. I actually used to have a ton because of working for the athletic department.
Oh, yeah.
And all of it is gone except for that. I have one ASU T-shirt that survived because all the rest of it just melted in that fire thing that happened.
Oh yeah, that was.
And then I have a hoodie, so I'm definitely in some need, but maybe I'll get maybe not a Scatterbo, maybe I'll get a Leave It or somebody else, maybe one of the defensive players if I can find them, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting a Pat Tillman.
Oh, that's
like a 42, but then getting their jerseys out now with like the Pat Tillman patch, and then it says the Peach Bowl
Oh, that's cool.
like patch. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that would be sick.
It'd be cool to get some Big 12 championship.
Yeah,
Swag,
that'd be
too.
tight too.
So, yeah, see if you can send us some pictures, and if you can see any cool shit we might want.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Lit.
All right, let's get to the real stuff here. This week's matchups. Okay, so starting with the playoffs, we got round 2 of the playoffs. First matchup is me versus Mike. It is currently halftime in the Chiefs and Texans game.
2021 championship rematch.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. That's so sick. Yeah, it's the 2021 championship rematch.
Mike has a
And-
chance to get revenge, and Brad has a chance to defend.
Yeah, he if he wins, he doesn't only get revenge on the matchup from that championship year
Yep.
or from 2021, but I played him twice in the regular season, and I spanked that daddy both times.
Hell yeah.
So I'm hoping for a third.
yeah,
but
Daddy Spanks back.
I know. I'm worried. I've seen that daddy spank other players, and it
Yeah.
is it's scary.
Oh, for sure.
It's nerve wracking. He has a good team. I'm not going to say he's going to win because I will, so I'll feel bad
mm-hmm.
when I beat him.
Yep.
But I think this week there are heavy hitters on my team that need to deliver in their good matchups.
Yep.
So we'll say James Conner against the Panthers.
James Cook too, I think.
James Cook has a great matchup.
Gotta hope AJ Brown is healthy
They're
enough
playing at
to
home.
do something.
Yes, I need AJ Brown to do well, and I think both my quarterbacks have opportunities to do well.
Mm-hmm.
I have Kyler Murray playing against the Panthers, but even in great matchups, he hasn't shown out for fantasy.
Right.
Might be the case again this week, which is why I'm sticking with Jordan Love. And he has a great matchup at home playing against the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if there is weather, that can affect things, and we've all seen Josh Jacobs, also on Mike's team,
Right.
take over the games in those kind of situations. Just
Yep.
rush, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Oh, for sure.
So you better believe that if Mike's heavy hitters show up,
gonna
my
be a banger.
edge bets
Yeah.
are going to make me $2 million,
There
and
you
then
go.
Mike goes to the championship, and that's fine.
Yeah, there you go. I'm also taking you. I have faith. I think we were talking about it earlier. I don't know if we caught it on recording, but how poorly Mike and our team did in that bye week.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So there's a potential, but there's also the potential that both of our teams, just all of our players had a down week at the same time, which odds that that's going to happen again are pretty low, but I think anything can happen. It's the playoffs. Wild shit happens. It's fantasy. But I'm riding with my podcast co-host.
Let's go.
Let's
Boys.
go be rad.
Boys supporting boys. What we
Let's
like
do
to
it.
see. Yeah.
Next playoff matchup, me versus Paul. This is a rematch of the 2019 championship.
Woo-hoo.
In that match, I was actually attempting to back-to-back championships at the time. And, of course, we all know how that turned out. Unfortunately, Chris Carson, I will never forgive Buda Baker.
Is that when Chris Carson broke his neck? I forget.
It was his hip.
His hip? Okay, I know
Yeah.
that dude was so injured.
Yeah, Buda Baker broke his hip. Anyway, he had 8 points in the
Buda.
first quarter, and I needed 6 more, and he was out for the rest of 3 quarters. So,
Heartbreak.
yeah, that's what happens, though. That's fantasy. You got to have some skill, some luck at the end, and a lot of luck, I guess. But this is our rematch, and it's been fun. Paul's been posting some memes, old memes in the chat. A lot of mine all revolved around the championship side of it, so I couldn't post those because it's not technically me versus him again. But I'm sticking with myself. I have to. I need Chase and Saquon to do their thing and blow up for me. And I need the Steelers to hold the Ravens down, at least somewhat, and just hope that I can sneak one out past them because Paul's team obviously had a high score last week, and my team didn't do so well. So best I can hope for is a sneaky win and sneak past them, and I'm taking myself.
Yeah. I think it's so tough to go against the Burrow Chase stack, which we've seen be monstrous this year at times.
Yeah, and with Saquon too, I'm if either of the two of them, if they don't have a league-winning week, there's a potential that my team totally flops, and I guess that's what I need. I need my hard hitters to hit, and that's what it's going to take for me to go to the championship back to back. But
Yeah, I trust your heavy hitters as long as they do hit,
yep,
which is what I'm assuming will happen, that your team, beats Paul's. I think it's going to be a very close matchup. I don't think it's like favors one side more than the other too
Right.
aggressively.
for sure. And that's kind of where it's like, usually at this point, it's like you can kind of see like some people, like last year. I mean, obviously, I barely snuck past Dex in the semis, but my team was pretty heavily favored. So at this point, I just don't see any one of the four of us being like super, super heavy favorite, because our 1 seed or our like juggernaut team fell out the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have the most points for again this year, but kind of on a weird season with missing some of the median wins and stuff like that. So really competitive this year. We'll see how it turns out. It's heavily skewed towards no one being the favorite.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think even Paul's team, let's see, looking at it now, some of his heavy hitters are going to be Lamar Jackson. He needs, Kyron Williams could be a heavy hitter. He's kind of fallen off lately.
Right.
Tyrone Tracy, questionable to play. We already saw Ladd McConkey play.
Yeah.
Who didn't score a touchdown, but still had some yards and receptions.
Yeah, 13 points, kind of just flex. Can't really gather any information off of that.
Yeah, and then Cowboys, hard to trust them. CD Lamb is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've seen him
For sure.
pull off good games and bad games. To rely
Yeah.
on him completely to win a match, not the safest bet.
For
but
sure. I'm nervous about Devontae, having him come off that week that he had last week. I mean,
He had a
granted,
huge week last
that
week.
also all happened in the fourth quarter, but just the Rams and this game, I could see it being a shootout. And
Yeah, I know. For my sake, I hope they use Devontae Adams because I don't want Garrett Wilson scoring.
Right.
And for your sake, you hope they use Garrett Wilson instead of Devontae Adams.
for sure. Or, I mean, maybe it's just a Brees game, which would be
Brees,
awesome for
Brees.
both of us.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be a tight matchup. I'm taking you to win.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Podcast boys to the chip.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Oh, let's go. That'd be so
What else do
spicy.
you expect from us? Of course, we're taking ourselves. Let's fucking go.
Jesus.
We're doing it.
Let's
we're gonna do
fucking
it.
go. Okay, next we got the battle for 5th and 6th place. We don't got to touch on that.
Nope, nobody cares.
Battle for 7th and 8th place. They already checked out as well.
Mm-hmm.
Only important matchup remaining is the Taco Bowl, the highlight of this week.
Oh, yeah. Parker versus Dustin. I think we're unanimous on this.
Yeah, I'm not even going to look at the matchup, really. I don't have a ton of notes here. Dustin has jinxed himself down, like as far down as he can go.
For sure.
It's incredible. He's going to find a way to jinx himself this week. He already left Gus Edwards on the bench, 20 points.
Yep.
Parker, I think, is really nervous, but he doesn't need to be because Parker's going to win. Dustin's going to find a way to ruin it for himself.
Yep. Parker had 140 some points last week. We already touched on
He looked
that.
good.
And his team is, I mean, projections don't matter, but his team's projected over like 150 points this week. So I think and obviously if you're in the Taco Bowl, you're nervous, but like of those teams, you would definitely want to have Parker's going into it. So I'm taking Parker. Parker wins it, and Dustin is the newest addition to the taco ship.
God, I hope Dustin's a taco. I have so many good punishments lined up for him.
I know.
I
We were
already
talking
have
about
a
that
whole
last
list.
time. You were just excited to to be a part of that because you've been out of it for like almost 3 years.
Yeah, the last 2
Straight,
years
right?
I've been
Like 2
been
years?
taco the last 2 years in a row.
Yeah. But then all of this year too. So like you were
Yeah.
talking, 2 previous seasons not able to participate, and then now this whole season, the rest, until we get to this
Yeah.
portion of it. So
I can't wait till that group chat is made or the Discord channel, whatever it's going to be
Yep.
for taco punishments.
oh yeah.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
I hear
Anyway,
ya.
yeah, Parker wins. Dustin's taco. Let's fucking go. I hope it's a hype matchup. We'll see. We'll see how the week shapes up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what the Chiefs are doing. They're just having Kelsey block all games, so that's fun. Love that.
Yeah, the Chiefs currently 17 points.
Dumb.
Texans 10. Chiefs are looking the same kind of silly that they looked all year. Not great.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, that's frustrating for me too. Okay.
All right. Moving
Lastly,
on. Let's
we
get
just
to our
got some shout outs and we're done.
Cool. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, my shout out's going to be seasonal, if you will. I'm going to shout out Christmas movies in general. My favorite Christmas movie of all time,
Uh-huh.
well, it kind of switches year to year, so I won't say of all time. These are 3 movies I watch every year. Well, 2 of them I watch every year. The other one's kind of on sporadically. I guess my number one's going to go to Gremlins. I fucking love that movie.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, not what I would have expected, but cool. All right.
It's like, I mean, it's a combination of horror and silly and Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's right up my alley.
Yep.
Yeah, oh God, it's so good. I might even watch it tonight if I get drunk enough.
Hell yeah.
Next is Family Stone. I've watched this probably at least twice per year, every year at Christmas time for the last, like, I don't know, 10 years in a row.
Yeah, and traditions are nice.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a lot of fun. Rachel McAdams, spicy.
Yep.
And Luke Wilson and others. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a nice feel-good Christmas movie.
Yeah, Christmassy movie.
As opposed to the Gremlins just being completely ridiculous and silly.
Right.
And then lastly, I always got to give a shout-out to Die Hard. Because some people argue that just because it takes place during Christmas, it's not a Christmas movie.
Right.
I think we all know it is a Christmas movie.
If you watch it on Christmas, that makes it a Christmas movie.
Exactly. I didn't write it down, but Harry Potter.
Yeah.
All those films
Yeah,
during Christmas
Mara's a
time.
big Harry Potter fan. She asked me, she was like, what? Because my parents are coming in on Monday, and they'll be here with us for a week.
Yeah.
And she asked me, like, what kind of movies do you think your mom's going to want to watch during Christmas? And I said, probably Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like her favorite
that's
movie
a good one.
of all time. Like, let alone like Christmas movie, but like favorite movie ever. She's a really big Halloween fan too. And she has like Nightmare Before Christmas stuff all over her house and stuff. So like her Christmas trees usually Nightmare Before Christmas. So I was like, that's probably going to be on the list. We'll probably watch it at least once. And she said she's creeped out by Mara said she's creeped out by the boogeyman.
He's kind of gross because he's like made of bugs, right?
Yeah, and he like eats the kids or something like that at one point, and I was like, well, now I know how to freak you out. So, so yeah, Christmas movies are fun. She also mentioned Harry Potter too, and I was like, that's fine. I'm not a Harry Potter nerd. I know
you're not a pothead like the rest of us.
No,
Damn,
I don't. I degaff.
All right, Dex, don't listen to that part. He doesn't mean it.
That's fine. You can just read the same book over and over again. I always love the little videos of the guys like, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but he's like playing a song and he's like, if I was a wizard, I'd use physical violence and I'd be snapping wands and like punching people basically. And I was like,
That's
this
up.
I'm into this. This is fun. So
now you're free to check the king.
yeah, memes and jokes. I get it.
Those are good. I think once we all got into chess, we kept saying that shit
I
way
feel
too
like
much.
I feel like Harry Potter, along with Die Hard, like it takes place during Christmas. Like there are some scenes that are Christmas. The entire movie isn't about Christmas. It's like one scene in each movie where they have like the Christmas time stuff, and then the rest of the movie is just.
If it's a movie with Christmas in it anywhere, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm just saying. Like it's kind of along the same lines, but. Anyway, anything else you got to shout out?
No, that was it. I can't wait to watch all these Christmas movies. I don't think I've watched many, but I have listened to maybe 50 hours of Christmas music since Thanksgiving. So
yep, I hear you. So my shout outs this week are to the redwoods in Northern California, like the trees, like the actual trees. I went up there. I drove up for work. I was in California last week, and I drove up to Mendocino and Fort Bragg, which is out on the coast.
Okay.
And to visit some job sites. And it was cloudy and rainy and gloomy the entire way up there, and it rained the entire time. But it was awesome. I mean, I went up and actually I stayed in a little like hotel in Mendocino. And I was just out there driving through the woods, and it was like creepy and dark and gloomy and rainy. And I was in these massive redwoods. I had to drive, about an hour to get through them. And it was so sick. And I went to this little tiny like Italian place in Mendocino, and it was delicious. Who was that?
Tank Dell.
Oh wow! Did he catch a touchdown?
I think he caught it and then fucked
and
up
now
his
he's
knee.
hurt.
That did not.
Oh,
that
man.
looks uncomfortable.
That does not look good. Hey, they scored, though.
I need it to be mixing, damn it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Redwoods sound sick. I think being out. Oh man, they're like really taking care of Tank Dell.
Oh, no. Oh, because they collided.
Oh, we're gonna see the knee get hit right here. Crunch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, MCL gone.
Bye-bye.
But yeah, going back to the Redwoods discussion. The Redwoods are sick, dude. I think going out, obviously in nature, if you will, sound like a fucking hippie, but that's huge. Like, and the Redwoods aren't those massive trees?
They are massive. It's like forest.
Like, I feel like I've seen a picture of somebody. I'm sure it was like some city created a tunnel through a redwood.
Oh yeah,
tree.
that's a famous landmark up there in Northern California. I don't really know exactly where it is, but yeah, you can drive your car through the tree.
And that's an actual tree. Like, you're telling me a stump or
It's like 200 feet tall and probably like, I don't know, I want to say 20 feet in diameter. And they carved a hole big enough to drive your car through.
That's so insane, dude. That's
Yeah.
incredible. That'd be so cool to see.
All of the redwoods that so I had to drive back through the redwoods again on the way back, and it was this super windy road through the woods, and there's trees like above you essentially. Like they're so tall and they have they're so thick that you like can't really see the sky almost.
Yeah.
And it's just a windy road, and it was like overcast and rainy and gloomy, and it was like very much like Pacific Northwest vibes. And
I love that.
Really got me into like Christmas spirit.
Nice.
But it was just like wet, and like I stopped a few times and just got out and was like just kind of experienced being in the woods. But all of those trees up there, on average, those are all like 10 foot in diameter. Like they're massive.
That's
massive
crazy.
trees. So
damn,
it was beautiful. I loved it. I was up there for a day, and yeah, found a nice little Italian place that had like, I got carbonara.
Ooh.
And like had a glass of wine, and it was like rainy and drippy and gloomy.
Carbonara, is that the one with bacon or pork belly?
It's like breakfast pasta, basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they loaded. It was half bacon too.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was delicious.
That sounds
anyway,
so good.
that was my shout out. I loved it, and now I'm back here, and it's warm and sunny. Go figure.
Yeah.
Last year we had a freezing snowstorm Christmas, and this year it's like, hey, go outside. It's 60 degrees.
Yeah, I can go outside in shorts right now. I was driving over here and I was sweating.
Yep.
Just being baked by the sun. That was wild. Well, yeah, man, cool. It sounds like a good trip. Good shout out.
Yep.
Redwoods are fucking dope.
Yep. Let's go. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all
that'll
I
do
got.
it for us. Good luck, everybody, this week in your matchups. At least the ones who are
Except for
still
Paul
paying attention. Yeah.
and Mike.
Except for Paul and except for Mike. And for those battling for the 7th, 8th, and 5th, 6th spots, you're probably not even listening to this podcast.
Yep, you don't care, but we do. Anything else you got? Is that it?
That is it.
Let's go B&C. On to the championship. Let's do it.
Yes, let's fucking go.
Put it
All
in
right.
resistance.
Bye, guys.
We're out.